Good morning, my koala knits and knacks friends, or afternoon or evening, wherever you are in your part of the world. Last night I was talking to someone on Messenger, and it was early evening in my part of the world, and for her it was in the wee hours of the morning. So I find that so cool. Got friends everywhere. I had a request that I do a demonstration on the Addi Egg. There are Addi Egg videos out there. Not too many, but there are some. But one of my subscribers and channel friends asked if I would do one on how I use it. And you know what? You would think that there's only one way to use this. And really, there is. But I have some little techniques that I use to make it easier. And I'm going to show you that. Okay, so when you use your, and you know what, if you go on my channel, I have made some coasters with the Addi Egg, and some of these techniques I didn't use because I'm learning as I go. This is a fairly new machine for me, but I have found a way to make it easier. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this little top off. Okay, just pinch it and take it off. Now, all of our machines have black and white needles. So why wouldn't they do that on this machine? Like, seriously. Because then when you're turning your handle and you're making rows, every time that black divider passes, you can count 1, okay, 2, and it's easy to keep track of your rows that way. Okay, so that's why I am doing it on here too. So I took a permanent black marker. I made one of my white needles black. And then between that first black and that last white, I colored that divider with a black permanent marker. So it looks like my other Addies, and I like it that way. Okay, so you're going to take your yarn. Now, it does matter what kind of yarn you use. I'm going to demonstrate with a 4-weight yarn, okay, because 4-weight yarn sometimes doesn't work well in here. 3-weight yarn is the best. But we're going to take our 4-weight yarn, and this is Heartland yarn. And the reason why I'm choosing that one, sometimes it's hard to get in that little space there. The reason I'm choosing that one is because when you take Heartland yarn, and like your yarn, take your finger and rub it across your yarn like that. If it's coarse feeling, like Red Heart Super Saver yarn or Craft Smart yarn, a lot of their colors, don't even bother, because you will break your needles, and it just sticks to your needles and doesn't work well. Okay, so find a nicer quality yarn. Be kind to your Addi, to your Addi Egg. Be kind. I already broke a needle. I had to order needles, so I learned my lesson. Okay, and then once you have that threaded, I just set it down and I put the end underneath the leg there so it holds it in place, just until I get my egg on, because I don't put that on yet. This is the egg, the weighted egg. Okay, and then I'm going to just pull this out like this. I'm going to grab a strand, pull it out. Then I'm going to use that to cast on. So I'm going to go in front of that first black needle, behind, in front, behind, in front, and behind. And I think in my other videos, I always say it the opposite. I say that's in front and this is behind, but whatever, you get you get the idea. It's still early morning, you know. I haven't even had my breakfast, but I was just so excited to get up and do this and to do this for you, and it's fun. So, anyways, however you look at it, we're going to cast on like we do on our other machines, our Addies or our Centros. Okay, behind and in front, all the way around. Okay, so then I'm going to place that black marked one right in front of my yarn feeder, and then I'm going to pull on this end here to tighten it into place. Okay, once that's done, I flip this little guy over, and we're going to add our egg. So you're going to just tie a little knot, just like that, just so you can get that handle in there, the little handle on this little weight. Put that in there. Tighten it up. Okay, then you are going to begin. Now, oops, it fell off already. I didn't do it tight enough. Okay, let's do that again. Okay, just like so. Put the loop on. and then tighten it. Okay, now the problem with the Addi Egg is that you need this to be dragging. You need it to be lower than the rest. So I'm going to just set that egg over top of the edge of my table, just like that. And then I'm not going to put my handle on yet. I'm going to get this project going. Get your loom pick handy and ready. You're going to turn it once, and you're going to make sure that those that loop goes down over top of your red needles. Then you're going to do the next one, making sure that you pull on some tension with your fingers, because that will push this underneath that little point of the needle. Sometimes when we're tucking stitches, even on our bigger machines, it's because our tension is too loose, and then it doesn't get caught underneath that little nook. Okay, so then we're gonna do that one. We're gonna come around, and we see that drop down over the little red teeth. Okay, I'm gonna put this a little bit at an angle. I'm putting a little bit of tension with my fingers there. I'm gonna do the next one. You're gonna go very gently for the first few rows, and that one just snapped down. Yes, this is 4-weight yarn. Okay, and then we're going to help this one over. Sometimes in the first 5 or 6 rows, you gotta give it a little helping hand. Okay. Okay, and there it's starting. It's clicking because it's a little bit tight until we get going, okay? Make sure that your yarn doesn't split over those 2 red teeth. If you see that happening, then just grab your loom pick there and fix it. This one too. Heartland yarn can sometimes do that, but it does work in your egg. And here we go. We're going to continue knitting at a slow pace, just like this. And if you were counting rows, you would have started counting already every time that black thing passed around. Now we've got a good start on it, so I'm going to just pull on that a little bit, just I can see it coming through. Now this is the thing. This is how I do it. I leave this little gadget off. I don't like it. Why would I have that on? Because then every time I have a loop here that's having trouble going over those red teeth, I got to take it off and put it back on. Now I realize there's a little dip in there, and when you put this on, you're supposed to put your yarn there, and then basically what that does, hang on, you got to squeeze it and then push it on. It's a pain. Oh, line it up in front of line this little thing up in front of your yarn feeder if you choose to use it. Then pinch it a little bit and it'll go on. Okay, and then that just helps keep your tension. It's gives you a little bit more tension by using it, but it also keeps your yarn from going all over the place. But I can do that with my hand, so I just don't like it on there. So I personally take it off, and I just have this run along the side here with my hands over, just like that as I hold it. And depending on how much I squeeze my hand is how much tension it gets, which is very little. When you're doing a I-cord, you want to make sure that you have very little tension on. Okay, so it slips down. Okay, I'm going to help this one over because I see it snagging, and that way I can get in there. But you know what? Go slow. We don't have to race and make a cord that's like, you know, a foot long in 30 seconds, because then you're going to have tucked stitches. You're going to have snagged stitches. You're going to have a mess. So take your time and get it going well, okay? It looks like I'm doing this to everyone because sometimes Heartland yarn can do that. I do love the outcome of it though on an I-cord, so I persevere. Okay, but you can use other yarn too, 3-weight yarn. You don't have to do this quite as much, but even still, when you're doing this, it doesn't take long. You get a cord in no time. And again, once you get going and you have more weight hanging off of this ball, you can start going a little bit faster. You just have to go at an even speed when you start, okay? And you have to watch every needle. So this is how I do my I-cords. Choose a yarn that is smooth, maybe one that's not as fibrous as this one if you don't like to go a little bit slower, and that'll work for you. Really, I'm being a little overly finicky here because some of these I don't have to use my loom pick on, but I just am trying to make sure, okay? So there we go. We are making a lovely I-cord, and it's coming out the bottom there. You can see. If you want to change colors, you are going to put your little weight up on the table so it's not it's not pulling on your machine, you're going to cut that. You're going to take it out of that little yarn guide. You're going to grab your second color. You're going to feed it through. Sometimes you need your yarn pick to push this through. Got to use my right hand. I'm just not left-handed. I'm not ambidextrous. I can't do it. So every time I try to do it for the camera, I have to switch because it just doesn't work. Okay, then you're going to pull that through like that. You are going to take those two ends. You're going to just give it a little knot until you get a couple of these done, okay? So I'm going to just let that hang there just for a second. I'm going to do a couple needles. Sometimes I like to take this handle off. I'm going to do a couple just like that, just to secure it, and then I'm going to tighten it, okay? Very carefully, just like that. Tie a knot. Cut it off. It's tucked down in your I-cord, so it doesn't really matter how long it is, but I just make it easier on myself and cut it off. I'm going to then pop that down under there and pull it a little bit just to tighten up my row. And then I am going to continue on. I'm going to get it going, and then I'm going to put my handle on. Okay. Okay, I'm going to drop my egg. Now, as you are knitting, and it gets longer and longer and longer, you're going to like stand up. You're going to hold it so that you have room for it to go, or you're going to just take your Addi egg. You're going to remove it from your little, or your Addi weight. You're going to remove it, and as this comes out, you're going to just move it up. If I'm using really fine 3-weight yarn, or well, once it gets a little bit longer, then I'll add it again. Once you get if you're using really fine yarn, I don't like to put it up into the project because I don't want to get holes and have it looking, you know, stretching out your work. So then, seriously, I just stand up. I just stand up and I let it fall. Okay, and if you need it even extra long, then you have to figure out your own routine of doing that. Then you're going to have to add your egg up into the work. Okay, so then you keep going like that till you get it out far enough that you can move your Addi egg up, hook it in there, and keep going. And that, my friends, is how I use my Addi egg. I hope this tutorial helped you. You're going to be whipping off some great I-cords. And yeah, I love the thickness of a 4-weight yarn I-cord. Of course, when you do a 3-weight or a 2-weight yarn, or even less, however you choose, then your cords are going to be narrower. And you know, whatever you choose. But I love this Heartland yarn in my machine. I think it works great. But again, you have to be patient and be willing to sometimes go over those, take your loom hook and put the little loops over the hooks. So leave this little gadget off. It's pretty, it's cute, whatever, but doesn't make sense to me, okay? Why would I cover up what I need to get at and have to keep taking it off and on when I can hold the tension here? So that, my friends, is how I use my Addi egg, and I'm looking so forward to more projects in the future using this little beauty. I almost I ended the video, but then I realized I haven't cast off yet. So anyways, I did a few more rows, and that's what it looks like. That color change is beautiful. This yarn is beautiful. I love the thickness of this cord. You could crochet with this. Like, it'd be so beautiful. Use it as your yarn and have a chunky, like a really chunky yarn, and crochet with it. I have lots of ideas running through my head right now, actually. But we're going to cast off, okay? So I took my egg off. I'm going to just pull on that to make sure all the stitches are down. I'm going to cut off an end, okay? Take it out of my little yarn feeder there. I'm going to grab my needle. We're going to do it the same way we take it off of our other machines, okay? Maybe I lowered the camera too much. I'm not sure. We want to make sure it's under this last white one because we have to work that one still, okay? So then I'm just going to hold this up like this. I'm going to work that one. Okay? Then I'm going to keep going till that needle drops. turning this a little bit so that needle drops. And I'm going to pick it up with my needle, with that loop up with my needle. Okay, go to the next one. Once the needle drops, just exactly how we do it on our machines. We're going to pick that up. We're going to keep turning. Pick that one up. So quick because there's only 6 needles. Okay, but you see the benefit of this coloring this red divider and that white needle. You can see it always coming around, and you can count your rows. If you need a certain amount of rows in each cord, you have no problem making them the same length because you can count as that little black thing goes around. So this one I'm going to have to back up a little bit so I can push it over the red teeth. I can already see it's not going to go. It's snagged a little bit. Okay. Let's see. Let's just see. You get the drift. Okay. Pull that down. There we go. Get that other tail out of the way. Take my needle off. Pull that through. Take that end and just pull on it and pinch with my thumb. Do that on the other side. And woohoo! We've got a cord. Okay. Now you make that really long, and you know, I have a coaster video on lighter weight yarn. Wouldn't it be beautiful to make one with this Heartland yarn? Like gorgeous. You don't need as long as of pieces because it's thicker and it's a wider, but so many things you can do with these cords. And I am going to put my mind in gear, and I'm going to try to come up with some patterns for cords. Okay. Cause I just, they're so cute and so much fun. So if you haven't got your Addi Egg yet, you go ahead and you order that, because that little baby really isn't, I mean, it's expensive for the little thing, but then again, it's worth it. If you use it properly and you find ways that work for you, it doesn't have to be a headache. Okay. So there you have it, my friends. So happy to have shared that with you. And I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you learned something and if you enjoyed spending this time, please hit that like button, that little like thing, so that Facebook can circulate this. Come join my Facebook group. Love to have you over there. I'll put the link in the description box below. And subscribe if you haven't already. So thanks again, my friends. Always a great time when I can spend it with you, even though I can't see you, which one day, hopefully I'll see your faces. Maybe we'll do a cruise or something like 10 years down the road. Like if Mikey can do it in crochet, why can't we do it? So anyway, shout out to you, Mikey. Not that you'll ever watch this video anyways, but happy knitting, my friends. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.